Um, oops. Today, I made some new pure combos for Mitsurugi. I'm gonna be making a few parts for this. First, I'm gonna be showing off just some pure lines. Next, I'm going to be showing off just some Azamina stuff because this deck is Azamina also. So I'm just gonna make two videos based around those two engines and some lines that you could do with them. Here's just some simpler lines I've come up with. Yeah, there's some silly ass names in here. Don't worry about all that. They're all one cards based around him. They will all basically be the same, like how they start. The end boards will be different. I'll also explain the reasoning for each end board. This is the draw 6 combo. Um, the whole point of this is to just try and draw literally as many cards as you possibly can. So then you still have the Raigeki and negate, but you add those two, and then on your first turn you already drew 4 with Dugaris, then bring this back and you get to draw the other 2, and there you go, you drew 6 cards. Next, IP and Abeo. This one is a lot more, I'd say, mid-range-ish. It's gonna let you kind of be a lot more reactive to what your opponent does. I think you get to draw 2 as well with this combo line. I think this combo line incorporates a Dugaris and to draw 2. I think you might even be able to get to draw 4. If I could probably redo the line. Yeah, you would have been able to get to draw 4 here. I should have done that. But you're gonna end on this board here with the Dugaris draw. So this is a 1-card combo. So this would work with Dugaris. So with the Dugaris draw, you draw 2, discard 1. And then if I wanted to, I could cross sheep to cycle through and get a different card. But basically, you will get the net 1 card, so you will get your discard for Abeo. And then Abeo will discard and bring back IP. And then basically, here's what you'll do. You could choose how you want to do this. I found the best way is to bring this out and not Raigeki. And you'll see why in a second. But here, I'll show you. So don't usually bring that out. Don't Raigeki. Then you're gonna go into Diamond, and then. So this is why I wouldn't Raigeki, because you want to IP and link into this, and this is gonna start. This is basically just gonna be your Raigeki, but it's also an SP Little Knight because of being linked, and you have you're gonna be able to target this guy to shuffle back, and then any card on the field, which I just target my own Abeo because I don't really care. This is going to be a shuffle back. This is basically an SP Little Knight with a Raigeki. Kind of awesome. So that's what this board's going to achieve here. Is you just need the pairs to bring back. You don't have to bring back the Raigeki. You could bring back the other dude. Like another line you could do is just bring back the other dude, and then the other dude could, as they special summon, bring back the Raigeki dude, and then when you really want to link off with SP, you can, but you have to rely more on your opponent there, while this one you don't really have to. And then you still have, if you're using if this isn't 1 card, you still will have this effect to discard 1 card and destroy a card on the field. So basically you get a negate discard, 2 target removals, a Raigeki, and then Dugaris to draw 2, and then I can just, there will be a line later I'll show you where you can cross sheep and Dugaris. I did it actually the first one I showed you. So you could actually get draw 4, Abeo. Yeah, so pretty decent. I like this line a lot. The only thing I'd like more about is if you could end with a ritual on the end board, which you most of the time you can. You'll have an extender or something, but IP Evil Swarm. I like this one. This combo I think is really nice against like Malice boards, just because you since you're flipping them face down, um, and then you're also gonna shuffle back with Diamondo. They're not gonna have any names to continue special summoning with because they're face down, so they're not even gonna be in the graveyard to banish for the Bestials. And then when you shuffle back with Diamondo, that's also not gonna be in the graveyard to continue with the Bestials. So this board is a board I really like to make if I'd go into Malice. But yeah, basically, the you end on IP. This is the ritual, and then here because Malice, obviously, in the air cards face up. So a special, you just flip it face down. Their normal summon, you're gonna be able to immediately shuffle back into the deck with IP and this linking off, and then you'll have prayers also. Here, I'll show you. So here, say you're facing Malice, you do this, go into Diamond, shuffle those two back. Now this is going to force them to special summon, and their first special summon, which obviously you can't do here because I'm just practicing. Um, you'd flip down with this, and then they'd have no names on field to continue with, for extension. And then say for some reason they somehow do get a face-up name, you just get to bring him back in Raigeki anyways. So it doesn't really matter. And then this is why I said it's important to end with a ritual on the field, because you'll get to use your prayers to search follow-up and get follow-up. I also do play this card. Two reasons. Um, Whenever your ritual gets, Mitsurugi ritual gets hit, it does have this effect. Um, I'll probably make a video here of me soon playing like ranked duels or something. I don't really play ranked duels that much. I usually go and play in person more often. But this card's pretty cool, especially whenever you already have a prayers on. You can search this one and then get this effect for going first also. But I kind of mostly like it for this because it's a third ritual spell so you have three different ritual spells to push through more stuff. But anyways, I'm using it for the pop here of going second to show it off. But basically then going second, this, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls, destroy it. So going second, like going back into a board, if they have stuff, you can just tribute Raigeki, pop like if they have like a face-up continuous spell like True Light or something. It's pretty good. But I like that board in the Malice, so. Oh, here's some other cool lines. So obviously you have two rank and two level fours. You can search Nib. This deck is actually kind of cool. If you can prayers and prayers bring back one of the cards, then you can nib your own card and get the Raigeki effect still off of it, or you could just Raigeki and nib your own board and then Raigeki and get nib your own board and get follow up because when they're attributed, you get the search. Yeah, so this one is boom. You get the Raigeki, and then I didn't show it, but we're just going back to the next turn. I have prayers, but basically you get the Raigeki, then prayers, tribute that, tribute that. Oh, sorry, it's underneath there, so you just get follow up. But basically, this is just an Omni with prayers. This board starts Dark Roller. They'd activate an effect, and you could just activate. Actually, no, this one doesn't work. I'm sorry. This one won't. This one does lose the Dark Roller just because. Oh wait, no, you don't need a card to tribute. No, it's fine. So if they activate that, you could just prayers to activate to search a monster like a Mitsurugi card, and then activate Zombie Stein to negate it, and then you'll still have your Raigeki in discard, which is a decent push. It's not the greatest, but it works. There's lines. I'm just trying to show off lines for each thing. This one I like. This one I like. I'm a big fan of this one. This is drawing 4 while searching Nib. I'm a big fan of trying to keep the lines like a lot more basic and try and keep the combo line a lot less fragile. So if I have like a lower ceiling combo, I don't need to rely on getting all my 8s out to get the big zombie dude out. Like this one, it's like you just really just need to get the names in the rotation, and if it happens. But I do end on the zombie dude here, but because of the 2 8s I bring back, as you can see, this is the line where you can do Garrus and draw 2, which I did. Um, and then here's basically how you're gonna draw again. So bam, prayers, Raigeki, effect, draw 2, discard 2, and then obviously you're gonna have 5 cards in hand. And then you still have your Omni. This is cool because you're drawing 4 cards and searching Nib. So the likelihood of you finding interaction for Nib to be important is extremely high. You also have the Omni negate with Zombie Time to stop Dark Roller with the prayer setup. And then, as I said, Nib with another card. Obviously, Phililos isn't going to work here. Duh. But, you know, say I drew into an Ash or something. Nib Ash. Or, I mean, Nib with a Raigeki and an Omni negate is probably enough to win you a game. I'm going to be honest with you. Um, I think. I mean, the only other one I can show you is the. Oh, that's not the one I wanted to show. But it's just a normal one where you make the 8 and all. But yeah, that's those are here I'll show you this is basically what I'm going to be showing off. But the real list is this, which is when I'll get to the final part to where I'll show the Fiendsmith lines intertwined with the other 2. The next video will be Azamina and just Azamina stuff. Now the Azamina stuff, I think you guys are going to be a little bit more surprised with how much it can really do. It can set up some. It's not like crazy boards, but they're pretty decent. They're pretty decent, I'd say. Um, with just Azamina. Um, but this is the list that I decided on. I do like this a lot. Um, I was messing around with one engraver. Yes, one engraver can work. It's interesting. But the only problem is you kind of have to like force it sometimes, and it just makes like your turns really long. Which I mean isn't awful because I mean if you are trying to be like mean or something, me personally I wouldn't do this. It does make lines more complicated, which means you have to do a lot more, which means it'll take a lot more time. So technically, that's not a bad thing because if you're going in the round 3, if your combo takes a little bit longer, I mean actually that is a bad thing if your combo does take a little bit longer because prayers, but you know they're weird lines, and I just don't really want to go pushing through all of that, and I just don't think it's worth it. I think literally just adding in 2 more cards into my deck with Lacrima and Paradise makes it a lot better just because I can go Lacrima, they hit Lacrima. Which most times they're not going to hit Lacrima. But if they do hit Lacrima, I can just send it to the grave and already have Lacrima and Requiem set up with Paradise for next turn, even though they hit my engine already. So they waste the hand trap on that, and then I can, start pushing with my Mitsurugi cards. Um, but this is part 1 of like a 3-part series. I just want to let everyone know. This is just Mitsurugi stuff right now. These were just some Mitsurugi combos I thought I should share and let people know about. Let me go back real quick because I think that one where I said pure Mits, yeah. This one I think is that one combo, and just because this video is pure Mitsurugi, I do just want to show up. Oh my god. So this was before the cards got updated. Oh my god. Here, I'll actually just here we'll just show it off real quick. Um So this is like, in my opinion, the most basic like value end board you can get with Mitsurugi, or not value. I just like simplistic. You're probably gonna win. Like you don't have to think too much about it. By the way, this line's always the same. It's always gonna be white get red, red get prayers, and then prayers tribute prayers, and then the next line is not really all that matters. It doesn't. You can literally add the red or the purple. I just always add purple because I like the purple one. Um, you'll always bring this guy back and activate this effect. Ritual. Um, and I might be playing around with Night Sword Serpent. I will let you guys know. And if I do, I will make a whole video dedicated to lines with Night Sword Serpent. Um, there is other things I've been looking into. So if I decide to play like cards like, for example, if I decide to play cards like Diviner or cards like the Dogmatica package, I would show you guys all the lines and some things that you could do. Um, I know I can. You can banish that one card to search. So like with what's its name, Burcephalo or whatever. So I know. Or no, not that's Shrike. There's some. I'd like to look around and see if there's some sort of some stuff I can do. Maybe like later in the line, go into like a Hagar's Lizard and banish him. And since I already banished a Grua, you know I can search a DD Crow, stuff like that. So when I see like face like a Fiendsmith deck, I can side that stuff. Um, there's just things like I would like to show you guys those lines if I would decide to play those engines and what tech pieces you could play if you decide that you like those cards. Um, I don't think thousand of a Manju like Manju of 1,000 hands. I don't think he's that great anymore. The only reason he used to be played um was because he was a 4, and we kind of did it like how Ryzel used to do it. Fiendsmith, literally we just made Lacrima, which was a 4, so that you could normal Sanji or Manju to get the ritual spell to then overlay them to. Now you don't really need to do that. So Manju isn't, in my opinion, worth it. I mean, he still is a 1 card. Don't get me wrong, he still is a 1 card, but since he's like his effect doesn't work off of being special summon, a lot of this time, since I'm playing the Azamina Azamina Mitsurugi Fiendsmith, you get to use the Cross Sheep's effect to reborn. So I think one of like the coolest things that you can do is discarding your starter and then reborning it when you summon your Omni on 5. So on 5, you literally stop Nib and get your starter back, which is kind of sick. So like that's why I was thinking about maybe playing Diviner. Because not only that, going second, if I discard Diviner and if I'm pushing with just my Azamina engine, when I bring Diviner back from the graveyard, instead it can send an Entis. So then I have an Omni and Entis popping, going in, and then I can use Cross Sheep and Diviner to then link into um, Unicorn to then get another spin, and then I didn't normal summon because that was all off of just like the Azamina line, and then I can normal summon literally any card from my hand, go into Access Code Talker, and push for game. But okay, so if you want to know, this is what I think is like the most average the end board can get. It doesn't lose to Dark Roller. Has decent interaction, follow up. So basically, you have 2 flip face downs. Your opponent has to discard a card, an Omni negate, and then whenever they go to use a card, you can just boom, prayers. Now, this is a lot different because you will probably use your Omni negate before you use your Raigeki, so you will have this guy back probably by the time rotation, unless obviously you have to stop Dark Roller no more, which in that case, that fucking sucks. But yeah, just add a card, special, you know. I always bring out this one. And then I love this new card because it chain blocks. And being able to chain block these cards to stop Bell is just beautiful. Um, Once you kind of get all the names working, prayers is the goat because they're literally all in the graveyard and can be special again. So it doesn't even fucking matter. You just literally search Monster Reborn. I love Monster Reborn, and yeah, I love searching Monster Reborn in a pop. So then literally on your follow up, as I said, you get Monster Reborn in a pop. You get your Raigeki effect here. If they try to blow up your reptile, you have a protection for it. Pretty good. It's pretty good. Um, I do like to get sillier. I like to draw cards. I like to have non-engine in my hand. What can I say? I'm a silly guy. Um, with the deep draw version I've been playing, I have been thinking possibly playing Droplet. But if I play Droplet, I am going to have to fix the switch the list around a lot. Um, if we play Droplet, you're probably not going to see Droll. Or if you do see Droll, it might be like one for a cross out target. I might play 3 Folos, 3 Ash, um, called by cross out, 1 Droll, 1 Nib, and then like 3 Droplet, maybe cut Deception down to 2. Just because I do notice with this deck that you can get a lot of cards quickly, and because of like pre-preparation of rights adding 2 cards, you can just go kind of nuts. And because of them being 1 card starters, you could literally just prep, draw 2 cards, and then those 2 cards are just it's just 2 more cards for Droplet. And since you search a spell and a monster, you're pretty much cooking. Because since it's as I said, it's a 1 card starter deck now. You could, even if you already had a monster, then at least you search a spell type of deal. But I guess that'll be it for part 1. I'll be making more. The next one should be just the Azamina stuff. Not sure if that might be tomorrow. I'm unsure yet, but I'll let you know. Alright, everyone. Have a great day.